Testing on welfare applicants should be done. There always seems to be a fight on whether applicants should be tested or not. There are many opinions on the topic. People understand that they need help, but do not want their tax-paying money being wasted. So that leads us to the question, is it justifiable? Another big thing is making sure the children are getting what they need. That is, after all, the reason the help is around. Taxpayers are always frustrated due to the fact that our tax money is wrongfully being used. Taxation is theft, to most opinion. But nonetheless, we have to deal with it. This program is great if it's being used correctly. It stands for some good things, and I really do believe it is needed, but to an extent, everyone needs help sometimes because life gets hard and things happen. That's why these programs exist, so that you can get back on your feet and go, but not go without your basic needs. According to Kravinsky's article, Governor Scott Walker released a 62-page plan which includes an income tax cut of an unspecified amount, as well as a reduction in the amount of time that able-bodied people can receive food stamps and unemployment benefits. This is due to the fact that people are abusing and using these benefits for far too long. Governor Walker is wanting to obviously stop that. He doesn't want our money being given away for people to use and abuse. Obviously, our money is important. He wants to help save our money. According to the article, drug testing welfare recipients saved Florida taxpayers nearly $1 million in the first month of implementation. This is proof that it would save us all money and prevent it from wrongfully being used. Just in 1 month, it was an outstanding amount of money being saved. They cannot and should not be able to live off of our money while just sitting at home and collecting money. And they should not be able to sell their welfare cards in exchange for money or drugs, but to be able to use it to buy anything. They should not be allowed to sell them at all. According to an article in USA Today, they stated, people on welfare shouldn't be able to use their benefits to buy illegal drugs. It is huge that such a largely viewed and influenced magazine stated that. It is always a touchy subject to bring up, let alone publish about. I recently interviewed Timothy Birchfield, a former assistant city manager of the city of St. Augustine, a certified public assistant, a CPA. He handled a lot of money. He was the one everyone had to go to about budgeting, and everything. All the police officers and everything had to go through him about anything, since he was a CPA. Birchfield also agreed that testing them would help better them. He stated it will do them better to keep them tested so that they will stay clean, and it will be better for taxpayers who would rather pay for testing instead of an EBT card that they will sell for money to buy drugs. Birchfield has seen and done a lot regarding the poverty in this town, in the city of St. Augustine, because there's a lot. We all know it's a problem. Our tax dollars should not continue to support their drug addictions. As stated in the article, welfare dollars should not support anyone's drug habit. If an individual chooses their welfare dollars irresponsibly and illegally, they should be removed from the program. They're absolutely right. We are all paying them to be irresponsible. We're paying them to buy drugs. We're paying them to keep feeding their addictions. It's time for all of those who are using the program wrongfully to take responsibility for their actions and pay the consequences. It's time to get up and get a job and stop relying on others to help support you just because you are too lazy to try or just do not want to. They make it glorified these days anyway. Might as well just sit at home and collect money. It is wrong to consider that. But even more wrong that we support it and continue not to do anything about it wrongfully being used. Welfare programs are meant to help those in need. It is not meant to affect the rest of the population in a negative way. It's supposed to relieve the taxpayers that their money is being used effectively. Some are well off, but then lose their jobs. That is something that cannot be helped. They deserve the help they need in that time, as long as it is not abused. Most that are on the program are or were taxpayers at some time in their life. According to Darlene Acuna in 2014, in Florida, during 4 months, the state tested for drug use. Only 2.6% of the applicants tested positive. This number is extremely low, and I get what they mean, but this is only proof from one state. Some might also believe that drug testing might negatively impact the children involved. The sad truth is that a mother might fail a drug test for welfare. This might not be from a hardcore drug. Maybe it's marijuana so she can sleep, or her stomach will not constantly bother her, but she cannot get a medical card. It is a harmless drug, but the drug is still a drug to the system. If that mother gets welfare taken away from her for this, then her child or children are affected by this. That means that these children are not getting food or clothing from the proper amount of it, if at all. This issue is not the child's fault, so they should not be put at stake for this. Not all cases will be like this, but I can see this happening quite often and have in fact seen it happen while in line at Walmart. We obviously want what is best for families, but also keep the children at the top of the list for their needs because they cannot provide for themselves. According to Lindsay Lyle, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TAMF, beneficiaries undergo testing prior to receiving benefits. This is a big program that also is very important. This goes to show that it needs to be done for the sake of what is best for the children. Drugs impair judgment, which is not a safe environment in so many ways for a child. This worsens a home life for a child with parents on drugs, which could also link them to selling their welfare cards for drug money, which again leads to no money most likely for the child to have food or any essential needs. With that being said, I believe that known drug users should be watched so that they can get proper care. According to Castro's article, under the legislation, first-time offenders would be referred to a regional substance abuse coordinating agency for treatment. This is great if it's actual treatment. Addiction is serious and they need serious help. These children need their parents and proper care. We need to better focus our services and help those that truly need it. We are all in this together. People fight to say drug testing welfare recipients is not justifiable. It is clearly justifiable, especially after taking what I just talked about with the children tending to be neglected. According to Cristina Perez Munoz, since welfare recipients are members of a wider system of social cooperation, they should be tested for drug use as a condition of receiving welfare assistance from the state. I get that this could be annoying for the recipients, but it really is such an easy thing to do that we know our money is not wrongfully being used. They will still receive their benefits. Some have also said that it is unconstitutional, but I do not believe at all that it is unconstitutional. According to Ilan Waram, conditioning welfare on drug testing is more likely to be constitutional under the unconstitutional conditions doctrine under the Fourth Amendment approach. There is no reason for them to continue making excuses. We have been provided We have even provided it is unconstitutional, considering drug testing in return for welfare and unemployment checks. No one, and obviously I mean no one, wants to be sitting at home collecting welfare. Our hard-earned money just makes no sense whatever. Governor Rick Scott even stated, while there are certainly legislated needs for public assistance, it is unfair for Florida taxpayers to subsidize drug addiction. Again, another governor stating that it's not okay to live off of taxpayers' money and think that it is okay. It is just an irresponsible act, as I have been saying the whole time. We should not be responsible for them being irresponsible. According to an article, Kimberly Yee, it is fiscally irresponsible for them for public money to subsidize the use of illegal drugs. It is irresponsible for any drug use. There are no excuses anymore, and we should not be allowing them to do this. I know some say they do not use that great of taxpayers' money. Welfare applicants are a small part of public benefits. If you know anyone going to college, then you know someone who's most likely received some sort of tax exemption. There are so many examples of public tax-paying benefits. We all honestly know that our roads we drive on are part of that, which can go either way. I used to live in Illinois, where I felt that my money was a waste to the road commissioners half of the time, unfortunately. I feel that there are worse things to be spending money on, and that those in need. I do get it from both sides. I get that we all have honestly been on some sort of tax-exempt benefit. That's okay, but just to sit around and mooch off of it is not okay. According to the article, Alcoholics and Drug Abuse Weekly, there are a lot less costly, most effective ways to identify TAMP recipients who need substance abuse treatment. While I will agree with this, they do actually have to want to get help. Most of them do not want any help. They just want drugs. This is a way to get them help, and a way to show them how they need to get help, that they need to get help. It can be an eye-opener for them in a way. They can see how many times they have failed a simple drug test, and hopefully help that click in their minds that they are not okay and need help, which is perfectly fine to need help. According to Australia's nursing program, the proposal punishes Australians struggling with severe alcohol and drug problems and will push them further into poverty. I get the point of this, but again, it's their choice to do drugs. No one is making them do drugs and spend their own money, our taxpayers' money, on drugs. It is well overdue for them to start getting help that they need and to start taking responsibility for their actions. There are plenty of jobs out in the world to be filled. They do not have any excuses anymore. A lot of drugs are not even drug tests, so they could even still make it work and have a job to feed their own addictions. According to an article by Samantha Lane, Governor Walker said this is an effort to prepare individuals for Wisconsin's workforce, which currently has 67,000 jobs to fill. Okay, I don't know about you, but that's a huge number. There are a lot of available jobs just in one state. They can easily get a job in this day and age. They just want to keep making excuses and getting paid to do drugs and sit at home and do nothing. It's so wrong to do this, and they get away with that. And it really needs to stop. In conclusion, there are many different views and opinions to welfare as a whole, but for welfare recipients to receive drug tests, there are many good reasons for it to be done, though, as you have seen. People understand that they need help, but do not want their tax-paying money being wasted. It's justifiable to test them for drugs. We always need to be making sure that children are getting what they need. These are very important reasons that drug testing needs to be getting done, and why drug abusers need to be getting the help that they need. We need to start helping better our country and our fellow Americans. Thank you.